Pleasant morning, viewers and subscribers. Bright and beautiful Monday morning here in South Florida. Sunny outside, birds are chirping, leaves are blowing. Yeah, just like we love it here in South Florida, you know? Do the right thing. If you ever get tired of the cold up north or somewhere over there in Europe, we still have lots of space down here. They say it's overcrowded, but we still have spot for a few more. Anyways, um, moving on to transfer news of the day. Chelsea's defense line is gonna look completely new next season. Brand new defense line. Because as we were already aware, Rudiger's free transfer to Real Madrid was confirmed a couple weeks ago. Joining him in La Liga will be Andreas Christensen, as this was confirmed by their manager on Saturday, Thomas Tuchel, who said Christensen has to be left out of the matchday squad for the FA Cup final versus Liverpool. I'm assuming the player doesn't want to pick up a knock, and which probably will hinder his dream transfer to Barcelona. But yes, Christensen will be moving on to Barcelona. There's also rumors that Azpilicueta will not be re-signing or signing a new contract there. He has his eyes set on a move back to Spain as well, which is his home country, of course. So, Chelsea will be out there shopping for central defenders this transfer window. I know they have Thiago Silva, but age is not on his side, and as we have seen over the past season, the youngsters like Sarr and Chalobah, they probably are not fully ready to take over that mantle. But we'll keep an eye on that and see who's the next big name that Chelsea goes after. Because as we all know, Chelsea does not just settle for who they have or who's coming up through their academy or anything like that. They have to have a big name defender in that squad. So let's keep a close eye on that one. Some rumors coming out. The Mirror first reported this, that Erik ten Hag, the new Manchester United coach, will be cutting his contract with Ajax 6 weeks early. Not so sure how true this is. Like I said, it's been reported by the Mirror, but supposedly he will be traveling to Manchester today to meet up with the team and take over the reins, with the idea of overseeing or possibly being on the sidelines for the Crystal Palace game, the final game of the season for them on Sunday. Like I said, not so sure if that is going to work out, but that's what the Mirror has been reporting. Now, Fabrizio Romano is also sticking on Manchester United news. Fab has reported that Ajax's young centre back, Timber, and if you do not know this kid, go look him up. YouTube his clips. Very solid central defender. Miles above his age, if you ask me. Now, Ten Hag rates him highly, and as we all know, Manchester United's defense is, I was gonna compare them to, probably a country's defense in a war, but can't even think of any right now that's been that poor. But yes, they're looking to revamp their central defense, and his is one of the names that has been mentioned. And the fact that Ten Hag has worked with him before, might be a little bit of a sweetener in that deal to try and bring him to Manchester. But we'll also watch that one closely and see what happens there. Speaking of Manchester and their defenders as well, it was reported last week that Crystal Palace were eyeing Wan-Bissaka to bring him back. I'm not so sure if it's the club ownership that was interested in that or Vieira himself. But things haven't really worked out for Wan-Bissaka at Man Utd. The Wan-Bissaka we saw at Crystal Palace, who lit up the league, as one of the best young right backs. was even in the England squad. It hasn't really worked out for him at Manchester United, so let's wait and see if Palace puts in a bid, because we know he's not high on the depth chart for Ten Hag. So let's see how that works out. Palace might be able to get him back for a cut price, probably half of what they sold him to Man U for. But we'll pay close attention to that one as well. Moving on, sticking in the Premier League, Christian Eriksen has said that his dream or his wish is to play in the Champions League again. So he might not be re-signing with Brentford at the end of the season. But Man U and Spurs are both interested. We know he didn't leave Spurs on good terms, but Conte seems to be a coach that really likes him. Man U themselves won't be in the Champions League this season, but they have other things that can attract him there. So apart from that, I do not really see him going back to the Serie A. Probably Chelsea, a possible destination. They're kind of thin where central midfielders are concerned, especially with Kante might be moving on. Kovacic is still pretty good, but what Eriksen brings in that midfield, none of Chelsea's current midfielders has that. So I could see that as a possible destination for him. Even a Liverpool, if you ask me, because they rotate their midfielders so much because of their style of play. He could really fit into that system as well, especially with Thiago not being always match fit or always. He plays probably 50% of their games, so Eriksen could be a good fit over there as well. Moving on, Paulo Dybala will be playing his last home game for Juventus today, as reported by Bleacher Report. He has made it known that he will be moving on from Juventus. Now, over the past probably 3 or 4 years, there have been a few English teams that have, shown interest in him. As a matter of fact, last summer or the summer before, Tottenham had agreed a fee with Juventus, but the player himself turned down the chance of moving there. Now, we do know that Manchester had also admired him for a while. Not sure with Ten Hag if he fits his system, but what would be of concern, and we know the player himself had the idea of playing for Man U, but reportedly he had made a comment about it being hard to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't know if he meant that in a negative way or not, but the fact of the matter is Ronaldo is at Man U. The incoming coach has made it no secret that he sees himself working with Ronaldo. He wants Ronaldo to be a part of his plan at Man U. So I don't know if that would work out with Dybala going there, but that's gonna be a pretty interesting one. Inter show interest in him. I know AC Milan were interested in him as well, but he'll be leaving on a free, so their biggest task will be agreeing a good wage package with him. But I could see him actually remaining in Serie A. I don't know many teams in the Premier League right now that will be looking for a kind of player like him. City already stacked in that department. Chelsea have both Ziyech and Havertz that plays quite similar to him, even though Ziyech is always in the physio's office. He's always injured. So other than those two, or apart from Chelsea, really, I can't really see any team in the Premier League right now, unless Newcastle can lure him with a good pay package, which they might be in a position to, lure a lot of players up there, big name players, because of the amount of money they'll be paid. Now, moving on from that and continuing with Newcastle, the Mirror also reported that they are interested in bringing Manchester United's goalkeeper Dean Henderson to Tyneside. Now Henderson has made it public already that he does not plan to continue sitting on Man U's bench. But as we can all see, you know, there's no way he's taking De Gea's game at this time. That's the number one goalkeeper over there. You know, Henderson haven't done enough. Even when he got his chance, he did not do enough to claim that spot. De Gea is probably top 3 goalkeeper in the Premier League right now. Not probably. He's top 3 goalkeeper in the Premier League right now. So that would be a good move for Dean Henderson. Don't know if Man U will be willing to agree a deal with Newcastle based on past relationship, but if the money is right, you know, he may be up for sale. And lastly, just want to put this out there. Luis Suarez played his final home game for Atletico Madrid over the weekend. Not sure where his next destination will be, but I do know that at one point they were touting him to make a move to the MLS. Now, I'm going to say this not because I'm a fan of the MLS. If he is coming here in the same kind of shape and mentality as Higuain did, he's going to fail. The MLS is not a retirement league like, you know, people claim it to be back in the 90s or even early 2000s. This is a league now where young Central and South American players are seeing it as a gateway to Europe. So they're bringing their A game. They're playing hard right now in the MLS. So I don't know where's his next stop gonna be. Probably back to South America. You know, the Argentine league is always pretty good. The Brazilian league. But we'll just have to wait and see what's his next stop gonna be. Anyways, that's it for now. Join me tomorrow for another show. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one.